Welcome to Greenshine Farmers video blog about a family starting a farm and going back to the homestead lifestyle. Welcome to episode 2 of Greenshine Farmers. Today we're going to be talking about our farm plan as well as the seeds that we're going to be using on the farm. A farm plan is super important when you're first starting out, especially if you're going from something small to something really big like what we're doing. We wanted to make sure that we were organized as we could be, and we know that there's going to be lots of ups and downs while we're out there on the field and getting our hands dirty, but at least we have a general idea of what we want to do, how we want to market, who we want to sell to and distribute to, how we're going to build our soil, and all the things like that. So Rand had put together this farm plan, and it's nice and easy. It's also useful if you ever want to apply for a grant or a scholarship or a bank loan or anything like that, to have something at least started as a frame. So I suggest all you beginner farmers out there to first sit down at the computer and just kind of type out your thoughts. It's worth it in the long run.
Okay, so a little update on the farm search. We decided on a property. It's property number 2, which, just to rehash, was about 10 acres, 2 to 3 of that flat bottom land. It's got 1,100 feet of creek frontage that we can use for irrigation. It has an old general store from the 1890s that we can convert into a living space. And it also has an old tobacco barn that we will use for our processing. Some things that need to be done to it, though. The big one with this was that there is no fresh water. So there's a creek there, but in order to wash our crops, in order to shower, in order to wash our dishes, we need some source of fresh water. So I looked into what building a well would cost, and it turns out it's actually quite costly. Probably going to run us around $4 or $5 grand minimum. So that's not really an option. Option number 2 is rain catchment, and that's what we decided. We're going to put in a shower and route PVC through the base of the cabin, the old general store. So we'll have running water. We're going to get a tankless water heater, so we'll have hot running water, and pretty much just going to build a compost toilet. So we're going to rough it a little bit, but we'll still have an ability to wash our greens, to wash ourselves, to wash our dishes, wash our clothes, and we're going to make this a functional homestead.
Let's open some seeds. Alright. Got our micro seeds. So one of the things we grow is microgreens, which are basically sprouts that you grow in soil and harvest them at 10 days old. So basically think little seedlings. And this is our micro tower right here. It's 4 levels. Well, actually there was a 5th level, but we had to cut off the 5th one when we moved into this house. And basically they're grown in 10 by 20 trays. You've got one tray with holes in the bottom, the other tray has no holes. And what you'll do is you'll fill it with soil, you'll throw the seeds down, you'll wet it, and then you'll take this bottom tray, put it on the top because they need that moisture to germinate, and just set it right in here. So we basically have a reservoir system, and so instead of watering directly on the microgreens, since they're fragile, we'll just actually pour the water in and they'll actually water from the bottom. So here we have our micro seeds. We've got our China rose radish, we've got our organic shoot peas, and then over here we've got our black oil sunflowers. Now, I'm going to give out a little nugget here. It took me a while to get this information out of my buddy, but he pretty much found the best seed source for organic micro seeds, at least for these 3 right here. It's Teensville Farm. They're in, I think they're out of North Dakota or Nebraska. Really nice people, and literally the best price you'll find for these 3 seeds anywhere. I guarantee it. Also, another tip, if you're going to be ordering like 20 pounds or bulk orders, call it in, because there's a wholesale price that you won't get off the website. Okay, here we have our field seeds, our seeds that we be planting out in the field, starting with our brassicas. So we've got arugula, Sylveta arugula, which is also known as wild arugula. Has a really spicy, pungent taste, really popular with chefs. We also have Surrey arugula, which is similar to Sylveta, a little bit easier to grow and maybe a little more mild in flavor. And lastly, we've got good old-fashioned Astro arugula. Going back here, we've got our Red Russian kale from High Mowing Seeds. That has been just great for us. It's a really prolific grower. It comes back again and again, and it looks great in salads, and you can even use it in a braising mix. Back here, we've got our Japanese mustards, our Mizuna, and our Ruby Streaks, which are similar looking to Mizuna, but red in color and a little more jagged. We've also got our Early Wonder tall top beets that we'll be using for beet greens. We've got our spinach, which we went with the Reflect F1 hybrid variety this year. It's supposed to be a heat tolerant variety. We're going to try growing it in the middle of summer and see what happens. Now over here is kind of our bread and butter. This is our lettuce. So starting over here, we've got our Salanova from Johnny's. Now this is actually the only place you can get Salanova. They kind of have the exclusive rights to it. This particular variety is the Green Sweet, which we found to be the most productive, I guess you would say. We also got a little bit of the Red Butter Salanova, which is just good for, you know, having a different texture and flavor in there. Our other two pelleted varieties, we're kind of doing a trial this year. We're going to do Cherokee, which is a red heat-tolerant lettuce, also a head lettuce, and then our Myrrh, which is a green type of head lettuce. We're going to trial these two against each other. They're both going to be done as transplants. They're both pelleted seed, and we're going to try to keep our numbers exactly the same so we can have a fair trial and see if the Cherokee Myrrh combination outdoes the Salanova combination. Let's see. Lastly, we've got our red oak leaf lettuce, which is not pelleted. We've also got our Regal oak lettuce. So we've got our red oak and our green oak. These are just going to be direct seeded. They're not going to be transplanted. We're also kind of trialing this against these two, and we're going to see, you know, in terms of production and how much we get, if the, you know, loose leaf cut and come again compares to the head varieties. So lastly, we have flowers. We've got our nasturtium and our centaurea, aka bachelor button. Both of these are edible. We also have chamomile and lavender, both of which we'll be making into teas. We also have celosia, which we just got because they look cool. We also have zinnias, marigolds, sunflowers, and lastly, our beneficial insect mix from Johnny's. We also have our organic red clover, which we'll be throwing kind of just down in the field to act as a cover crop and also as forage for our rabbits.
I'm going to quickly go over what we're kind of planning for our homestead front, meaning the family garden. I used Farmer's Almanac to kind of get a general measurement of how big our plot is going to be. I have 30 feet by 100 feet that I'm going to work with just for our garden plot, and I'm going to grow a little bit of everything. I want to personally get the experience of growing different crops, and Rand as well wants to get the experience of growing different crops to see if we want to extend next year as part of maybe a CSA or whatnot to grow other things. Most of our garden plot is going to be rows. However, there's going to be little patches like a zucchini patch and a winter squash patch and a little corn patch even. I've never grown corn before, so this is going to be exciting. I'm going to try potato barrels. We want to grow the majority of what we eat, so I want to store things over the winter, pickle a lot of stuff, make soup and then jar that, and do a lot of canning this year. We really want to try to grow the majority of what we eat and to kind of do that sustainability type of thing. We're also going to try to go heavy on the herbs to see if we can sell some to local restaurants and also make tinctures out of like lavender and teas out of chamomile, just the normal homesteady type of stuff. So please stay tuned and watch future episodes. Here we are. Thank you for watching Greenshine Farmers. Please subscribe, clicking the red button down below on our YouTube channel, and check out our website, www.greenshinefarmers.com. Thank you very much and have a blessed, beautiful day.